Okay. First thing I want to take care of is your character here. We don't have a King Food Frank, and back in task milestone one, you were supposed to choose a character, and that was the company telling you that you have to create a character based on that name. And so what you have to change this to is flipping. I don't have that font, so I'm just going to go in flipping. If I can spell it right. Fred. That is the name of your character, so you got to change that. Now, before we talk about anything else, let's just go in, and it looks like you haven't corrected the selections around. There's a lot of white around your edges, so you definitely want to work on that. So, like for example, let's see here with your head itself, you can click on the mask. One thing you can try to do is right click on the mask. If you're on a Mac, control click, go to select a mask and paint around and try to see if you can remove that. Looks like you have to use probably a smaller brush. You might also turn on smart radius and increase the edge detection a little bit. That could help a little bit on that part. And then you can kind of go in and try to clean it up that way. That might be the best bet. So like here, if not, then you have to manipulate the mask and paint with white or black. So like here with the body, if I do select a mask, you gotta go all the way around. I'll turn on edge detection. So you gotta work on that to clean that up. Okay. Um, so a lot of white around the edges that you have to work with. With that said, um, you know, add a little more creativity to your background and to your text is probably needed because as a design student you want to showcase your design, and so some things you got to think about here. Um, you might, since he's standing up, this character standing up, I've been showing some students a couple things. Um, let's make a floor out of this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this up just like that. I'm just going to reduce the size, and then let me just go in and I'm going to take my magic wand real quick. I'm going to click in this area down here at the bottom, and I'm going to create a new layer. What I want to do here is I'm going to change the colors. So I want to have a foreground color, a darker brown, and then it doesn't matter, the background color, a lighter brown color. Then I'm going to go up to filter, render, fibers. You can just, it's supposed to give you kind of like a wood look, and you can adjust the strength and variance to fit what you need. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go up to edit, transform, perspective. Take this bottom right hand corner, going to move this out, create that depth that we're looking for. Deselect, something like that adds a little creativity to this. And then what I would do is I would take your first layer of your character, I'm going to click on, and I'm going to hold down the shift key and click on the top layer, select everything between. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to edit, free transform. I'm just going to scale the character down just a little bit. Oops, I got some of your text, but that's okay. And then what I want to do is I want to move that character down a little bit here. Gives you some room and helps with the flow, because we could create a cast shadow to make it realistic as they're talking about. So like here, let me move flipping. I'm going to move flipping food Fred all the way up to the very top. Make sure you name all your layers. I see some layers are not named, so make sure you name them. So let's see here. I guess those are hidden. Those are probably being used for something else. Now that has not been hidden. So what we could do then, if we wanted to, hold on one second. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to hide your background and your composite, and if you do the floor. I'm also going to hide the type layer, okay? And then what I want to do here is I'm going to go in and I'm going to click and shift click down here. When I shift click, then I'm going to go in and hold down a shortcut keys, and this is where you got 4 keys to hold down. I want to hold down the Control Alt Shift and press the letter E. Now what this is going to do is create a duplicate of everything together and brings it together, and you don't destroy your layers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this down toward the bottom, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it, I'm going to hold down the Control key, I'm going to click. I'm going to fill it with black. So you see the thumbnail goes black. Let me go ahead and deselect, and then I'm going to go up to Edit, Transform, Distort. I'm going to bring these 2 handles down, and I created a cast shadow. I'm going to press my Enter key, and then what I want to do is I want to go up to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. You want to make it a soft edge and create the cast shadow. Now I'm going to reveal the text there, and then I'll probably change the opacity down as well, because you don't want that much. Now when it comes to flipping through to Fred, I would suggest that you look at layer styles and see what you can do to bring out some of the text. There's some free layer styles you can download and utilize. So one of the things that is easy to do is when you select it, there's a layer styles panel. You can try some different options. You can actually go out, and if we look at layer styles, I type in layer styles food Photoshop. You'll find different styles that you don't want to buy anything. You might look at this burger one. That might fit exactly for what you need to work with. And all you do is you download it. Now this is using RAR, so it's like a zip program. If you don't have, so this might not, if you don't have that app, you might not be able to work with it. But what I'm going to do here, go to my downloads. There it is right there. Extract it. Okay. So in Photoshop, what you do is you click on this triangle, and you choose Load Styles. And then you go back to Downloads or wherever you have it stored. Here's the burger style. I click on Load, and then I click on this. Now what will happen is, most likely when I click on this, you might have to change the style of the text. Typically you need to have something bold and a little bit large to really see it. So you can see it's trying to put those sesame seed buns on there and so forth. So it's kind of a fun little thing to go and look at.